coaching couldn't come at a better time. Like I finished last season pretty well, and I thought I was like on the brink of getting like bumped up to plat, and then I started this season. I've just been on a terrible tilt. Like I think
All
I'm
right.
sitting at like -10 like win-loss ratio right now.
All right.
And it's not just like one thing beating me. It's like I always just make the wrong choice. I build economy too much, or I build too much army, and then the other guy I'd wait too long to attack him with it. So
Okay.
it's
Well,
been
let's see if we can try and figure something out.
it's been a rough season.
All right. Yeah, I should be able to help you. How many games would you say you usually play, by the way? I don't think I asked you that.
Honestly, like before Legacy of the Void, I didn't play much 1v1 just because mainly I didn't like losing in 1v1, so I'd just go 4v4, and then that way if I ever lost, I could just blame it on my teammates and not myself. So I think last season I played somewhere like 300-400 games, something like that.
All right.
And then this season I think I'm sitting around 80,
Cool. Cool. All right.
something like that.
Yeah, could you join the group, group LowkoTV, so I can send you a party invite and check out the profile? It's just /join LowkoTV in the chat. Think it should work. Yeah, so because we got 3 coaching sessions, we should be able to work on all 3 matchups, just to you know, get a little bit better of an understanding of each and every one of them. A lot of the things will usually apply to the other matchups too. There we go. Vols deep.
Yep. That would be me.
Cool. All right. Yeah. So actually, wow, you did play 1v1 in 2012 apparently. It's been a while.
I went through the placement matches. I got put in plat, and then I got scared I would get bumped out of plat if people realized I wasn't that good. Like
Right.
once I lost too many games, I'd get bumped down to gold. So I literally, I think my last game played was my placement match, getting put in that league.
Okay. Yeah. I see.
It's deceptive.
Oh man, it's pretty sick though. Actually, going through your profile, you've actually got your very season logged in 2010, season 1. That's the very first time StarCraft came out, man. Good job.
I've been a big fan since StarCraft 1, and I don't know, I was really excited when they announced the second one, and just anxiously waiting the games.
All right, let's have a look. All right, so this season's not been going that well, you mentioned, right? We're 33 wins and 44 losses. Okay. Current season isn't going that great. At least that's what your words. We're currently ranked 30 gold with 33 in 44. So you actually have a decent amount of games logged already, considering this season just started.
Yeah, I went home sick yesterday, and instead of actually resting, I just played 1v1 a lot.
Worth it, man. Worth it.
Yeah.
All right. Last season, ranked 1 gold with a pretty big margin as well. All right. Cool. So the goal is like for this season, I suppose, is to try and at least go up to platinum, right?
Yes.
Okay.
That is correct.
Cool. All right, yeah. So in the email you wrote me, you want it to be Diamond League ideally. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what we can do for that. That's usually a pretty big skill difference, though, in like in like low gold and high gold and whatnot.
Yeah.
It's very hard. Like I oftentimes do coaching with people in Platinum League as well, and there's very little difference I usually see between people in like low plat and high diamond or not high diamond, high gold. Just because people play relatively similar. It seems like Gold League has a lot more players or something in there than... Like, it almost feels like Gold League could be split up in 2 leagues, you know?
Yeah, it definitely seems that way. And the other day, I played against like a quote-unquote like silver like Zerg player that was doing splits and like microing his army way better than a silver player I've ever seen. I was like, I literally typed during the game, I was like, there's no way you're silver. He's like, no, I'm diamond. I was like, okay. Like, I know silver players aren't this good. Because if they are, I don't belong in gold.
Okay, so currently Zerg versus Protoss win rate in this season so far is 24%. I don't know if you have like had issues with those before. It actually was a little bit better in general in Legacy of the Void. Still, statistically speaking, your lowest matchup.
Yeah, last season it was I was actually doing my best matchup was against Terran, And then Protoss, and then Zerg was my worst. Like I said, this season I think I've just played more Protoss players than the other two. Nothing in particular that's like beating me more than other things. I think it's just learning when to engage, when to like cut my losses and like move my army out and try and like rebuild and regroup.
Yeah, I see.
But
yeah, so you have some you have some rough win or losing streaks in there. I see in your match.
Yeah. Oh my gosh! Usually
some sick winning streaks as well, though.
Yeah, I usually stop after like 4 losses in a row. I was like, okay, I need to stop playing for a little while and just regroup.
Yeah,
but
it's
I
worth
think
it.
I think the other day I went like on a -8 losing streak, and I was just like, I was getting so mad.
Yeah, you had one day here where you had like 14 losses and 2 wins or something. Like those days, like you probably were just on tilt at that point, right? It's like, oh fuck this game, like just queue up.
Terrible day. I was like, why do I even play this game? Yeah.
All right, all good. So usually it's best to start off with one of the matchups. I don't know if you had any replays that you wanted to show me.
Yeah. Hang on a second.
Cool.
Let's see. I saved quite a few Zerg ones. I think some of the earlier ones are probably like going to be the longer games.
Yeah, like if you want to work on Zerg for Zerg, that's all good. It's currently your highest win rate matchup. Yeah, it's up to you.
Okay.
Like considering we have City, like it's probably.
Well, we can work on something else. I only got one of ZvP, and it's just I think him just building a bigger army and me not denying his stuff well enough.
All right. Well, here I'll give you the party lead. If you could just show me one of the Protoss games, that'd be cool. Just to have like a general understanding of how things go. It's all good if it's a loss or a win. That doesn't really matter.
Okay, let's go with this one.
Cool. All right, let's focus on ZvP then for now. See if we can up that win rate a bunch, even though it was one of the better matchups last season. What have you changed in Zerg for the Zerg though? Considering it, you said it was your worst matchup last season, and now it's pretty good.
I mean, honestly, I just think it's I played against better Zerg players last season. For some reason, saying it can't. Previous versions of StarCraft can't be watched with others. That's...
Oh, all right. Yeah, I don't know if you have any games from maybe yesterday or something that would work as well. Like they did like a little patch 2 days ago or something.
Okay, let me find a Protoss that I played yesterday.
Cool.
I have a feeling this is a loss just because I don't know.
By the way, if anyone wants to help us out from the live stream, we'll likely be looking for like a gold level or like a platinum level Protoss player. So if anyone wants to help us out, it's group LowkoTV on the North American server. So yeah, if anyone wants to help us out, that'd be awesome.
And then just a question while this starts up.
Sure.
Just a general question, like something when I do have Turbo Terran, it's usually because they like bunker down, and I just have no way of breaking through. Like I lose massive armies to like something that's like the fraction of the size. So typically, like if he gets a planetary fortress plus turrets, like what am I supposed to do as a Zerg player to try and like stop him from like keeping that? Like is there anything I do, or just like?
Yeah, no, in general, if you know it's already up and it's bunkered down that aggressively, usually it's best to just expand yourself and get at least like 8 gas going. So I'm guessing here that's like the Terran's third base, right? Where they start bunkering that up really aggressively.
Yeah, typically.
Yeah, if you just simply take a fourth at that point and tack up to something like Brute Lord, you're in a really good spot. Fighting against it, I have done it many times before. Sometimes you get lucky and break the planetary, but it sucks when you don't, right?
Yeah, I mean, and they don't have to be that great with SCVs. Just like pulling a couple to repair.
Yeah. Yeah, no, in general, I would just expand yourself as well, and then tack up towards a better army that can deal with it a little easier. So something like Brute Lords is really great against it. Something even like a couple Swarm Hosts are really good against it as well. Although I wouldn't really recommend that. But usually, like expanding yourself rather than trying to break them is like the better option.
Yeah, and that's another thing. Me transitioning into late game is almost non-existent. I think. The amount of times I've built Brood Lords in a ladder game is maybe like twice.
Right.
And then Ultralisks is very rare. I haven't even built a Viper yet during a 1v1 game.
All right. I guess we'll. I'm gonna start nitpicking on that stuff then.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Because I'll get stuck on like a Roach Hydra army, and then my opponent will like move past it, and then I just won't I won't know when to transition and trying to like counter whatever he's building against me. And I honestly don't even remember this game, so I'm not sure if I win or lose.
All right. Yeah. So in general, you tend to get stuck on early mid game armies, and not sure when or how to tech up to Hive. All right. Yeah. So when you first start teching up to Hive, there's gonna be some frustrating losses just because of the control and whatnot. But I would highly recommend it because Zerg really shines right now when you get to the late game. Like late game Zerg is considered pretty much the strongest in the game right now. It's stupidly powerful if controlled well. Yeah, like that may very well be one of the major things that we'll just need to work on, and we'll see how things go.
Okay.
All right. So what do you generally speaking do versus Protoss?
Versus Protoss, I start off, the 17. Build a few Zerglings just for defense. Just kind of keep vision on the map to make sure I don't get cannon rush, because that happens more often than I like. Then like around 4-minute mark, I usually build like 2 blind spores to prevent any Oracle like harassment. And then usually I just go into some Roaches, Ravagers, then try and push with an army. Then I'm not sure if that's what I do in this game.
All right, cool. Yeah, I think in general we could probably take a third base a little bit faster, but the overall strategy sounds good. I would say like Ravager Zergling and Ravager Roach and whatnot mid game is pretty much the perfect composition, as long as we like transition into something afterwards.
Okay, and yeah, I can almost guarantee you I probably don't.
Yeah, exactly. Like the thing is, it's sort of like something that carries you through the mid game while you establish up that big economy, and then it allows you to like go ahead and get a much stronger army out. I do really like the aggressive droning right here though. That's very solid. I like the little bit of map vision right there as well. That's very good.
Yeah, usually I have them like right at the entrance and I usually split them to have like one there, so I actually know when he takes his third. But did good in this one.
Yeah.
And then just typically, I've been trying to get into a habit of doing it. I'll spread my overlords to each one of the expansions, and then have them like spread creep, so that way if they want to expand, I at least get like a heads up, like hey, they're expanding to this place right here.
Yep. That's very good.
Kind of prevents them from getting like a secret base I don't know about. Yep,
I like that. All right, yeah. Just to give you like a general rule of thumb, right? So usually the fact, or like the Hive can't really be made unless you have at least 8 gas geysers going, because otherwise you just simply don't have enough gas to either make Ultralisk or +3/+3 upgrades or Brute Lords or any of that, right?
Okay.
So a general rule of thumb is to try and get 8 gas going as soon as possible. Now, obviously, the issue with that is that you need to figure out when you take the 4th base. And I actually don't mind this 4th base timing here at all. I think it's pretty good. But usually, if you see them take a 3rd base and you're not sure what to do, take an expansion. So if you know they got like 3 bases, just take your own 4th. And that's true for Zerg versus Terran and Zerg versus Protoss as well.
I've heard that's like a general rule of thumb is Zerg, you want to have like one more expansion than your opponent. Oh yeah, I lose this game. I'm almost like 90% sure.
Yep. So when they take a 3rd, consider taking a 4th.
Okay.
It's one of the general rules, and it usually allows you to be in a much stronger place. Yeah. So this is pretty risky, right? Like this is when like fighting up a ramp in general is pretty risky. Although it's not going all that poorly here. Yeah, it just has too much Protoss. Alright, yeah, so I see there's not really much of a follow-up, right? You basically go all in here because we don't have any plans to continue this onwards. You do have the Lurker then, so that's pretty good.
Yeah, I think I had the intention of putting down Lurkers. I don't remember if I do or not.
Yep. Yeah, I think we could probably... sorry, go ahead.
One game I literally won against Terran because I set up like 4 Lurkers right at his exit ramp, so when he was going to reinforce his army, it just like got shredded. And he didn't even realize it because he just kind of had him like auto going to a certain location.
All right, yeah. Yeah, what we can probably work on, and what's probably going to help out the most, is just things like drone timings and just figuring out how to get to 4 bases saturated, right? So we're looking to try to get those 8 gases going, and then just simply tech up. Because like, at this point, if you look at this army is not going to be broken. Like, that army is never going to get shut down with Roach Ravager. Yeah. He's just going to sit there, and you might want to, you might push in there. And I actually do really like this cute little queen move.
Oh yeah, to get some like creeps right up there to help turn the tides, but I think he gets me with some pretty good psionic storms here. And just crushes me.
Yep. Yeah, then a mothership core comes out. Then right now they just start maxing out. And you're like, well, fuck what I do.
Yeah, and then typical like of me, I just literally like just keep building Roach Hydra. I think I actually do. Maybe I get some. No, I don't get in this game. Yeah.
Yeah. I like the unit composition here, but I would really like to see sort of like a follow-up plan, right? So like in case this doesn't work out, at least have some backup plan. And yeah, I mean this army just gets demolished at this point. All right. Yeah. So general idea is very good. I like the aggressive droning early on as well. We can probably figure out how to play a little bit stronger past like the 10-minute mark. And go from there.
And then here, all I do is build a crap ton of Hydras to try and take down some of that air army.
Yep. Yeah.
I had them at 2-2.
Yeah, the High Templar fucked up. Yeah, really good upgrades as well. The upgrades were in a good timing here. But yeah. So just as a good rule as well, usually you want to take the fort primarily for the gas, and just to be able to get a stronger army out, right? But yeah, so when you see them take a 3rd base and you know that you're likely not going to be able to finish them off, just take a 4th instead, okay? That's going to be a good guaranteed advantage. So the idea is that if you see them taking a 3rd base, you know that you could maybe get aggressive and potentially win the game right there, which may have been working up to a certain point. But at least like once you go a league higher, it's going to be really difficult to finish off the game there because, well, people are just going to like, position pylons in a really good way, and they're going to just have just enough army to hold on, right?
Yeah, I've seen a few of your streams where you claim that the mothership core is the best unit in the game.
It's fucking good, man. That unit is insane. But like the idea is if you want to take a guaranteed advantage, if they just expand it, right? They're not going to attack out anytime soon. So usually if you expand as well and start decking up towards a stronger army, that's a much easier, much stronger course of action, That's like a guaranteed lead rather than taking a risk.
Yeah, it makes sense. Also, I don't know if it's like just because of the expansion, but I used to build infestors a lot more consistently, and I just haven't really built them lately. I don't know if that's just something about my playstyle that's changed or.
I would really I don't know if you play Roach Ravager as well in Zerg vs Terran.
I do usually. Like I said, I'm terrible with late game, so anything past like Hydra Lurker, like I don't usually build. So if the game goes past that point, I usually lose.
Yeah, I know a lot of the European Zergs like playing Roach Ravager Infestor, and like they catch dropships and stuff, and use the corrosive bile to shoot them down. Once they're fungal, So they use fungal growth to try and keep the army contained and use corrosive bile on it. That's pretty good if you trust your control. I don't play very Infestor heavy. I know it's one of the weaknesses that I usually have, but you don't really need them. Let me just put it like that, okay? I think it's much easier to have an army that contains something like Brute or Ultralisk than it is to, have an army that's primarily Infestor. Like Infestors are really difficult to control.
Yeah, I think like Ravagers have helped make Infestors not as essential as they once were.
Yeah. Yeah, so let's just find actually a practice game. I think that would probably help us out the most.
Okay, I'll give you a lead again. Cool.
Yeah, TLO plays that style. TLO does play that style. It's really cute. It's really nice to do, but it's sometimes pretty difficult to pull off. I'm secretly hoping there is gonna be a Protoss player online. Any platinum/gold Protoss? I mean, I hope you don't mind playing against
no, I don't.
Right? Cool.
No, I mean the idea is I'm supposed to be able to compete with them, so.
Yep. I think you can. I mean, you've been at the rank 1 master or rank 1 dime or gold damn leagues.
Yeah.
Yeah, high silver would be fine for practice, but ideally we would find someone a little bit higher up. I mean, we could try and play one of the first games against that if there's no one else. But yeah, if anyone wants to help us out who is in the live stream right now, it is Group LowkoTV on the North American server. So we're looking for like a gold/platinum level Protoss player. Lowko, do you use a wireless or a wired mouse? No, I cannot use wireless mice, man. Mine is wired.
That's the way to go.
I don't know if you maybe have someone online that you like practicing against or whatever.
Oh, let me check real quick.
Yeah, sometimes it's kind of difficult to find opponents or people just don't want to play. You're a gold level Protoss player? Alright, I'll go with Mr. Boogeyman then. Should be cool. We can just change out opponents in a little bit as well if we need to.
Yeah, it's no big deal.
Yep.
It's all practice. It all helps.
Alright. So Boogie, can you play standard macro? Diamond Toss would be a little bit higher up, but if things go really well, we can give that a try too.
Yeah, I mean it's fine if I lose to the opponent. I just need to learn what I'm doing wrong so I can get better. I think I've played against Boogeyman before.
A lot of Boogeymen.
Sounds familiar. There might be a lot of Boogeymen.
Boogeymen, right? All right. So since we're gonna try and play some more macro-focused games, I'll just pick like a relatively bigger map. Ruins of Saros. There we go. Cool. All right. So here's what we'll do, okay? So one of the things I noticed as well is that you took the third base a little bit later than you can get away with.
Okay.
One of the things a lot of the pros like doing, for example, is like double hatch before pool. I wouldn't recommend doing that all the time, but it just indicates like you can expand really quickly. So usually right after the first injects, so like right as the first 2 queens pop, you can go ahead and just make the third base immediately, as long as you know, obviously, that they took an expansion too, right? But you'll notice like once the first queens come out, usually you have a little bit of excess minerals while you're waiting for the injects. And at that point, it's like a really good moment to just take the third. So that's, I think, about a full minute or two earlier than in the replay we just saw. Just like something to test out and see if you like it or not.
Okay.
And other than that, instead of like taking a risk when we see him expand and whatnot, we'll just drone up behind it ourselves and start tacking up towards a stronger army, okay?
Sounds good.
All right. So we'll just play for like 15 minutes or so, and then we'll jump into replay.
Okay.
Okay. Now, obviously, it's gonna be watching the stream. That's gonna be a little more difficult, but
disadvantageous.
Always good though. So yeah, I'll try and help you out as much as possible during the first game, and once we get like a bit more of a feeling for transition timings and whatnot, I'll try and shut up. But yeah, it's the same for Terran and Protoss. I like the at least like the tech up timings and the playstyle in a late game is relatively similar. But especially if you say like you've never built 5% Ultras and Brute Lords before, that could easily be the thing holding you back.
Yeah, it'd be nice to try and get better at late game transitions. So I don't feel rushed to end the game before it gets to that point.
Can you repeat, please? What? Standard macro is good.
Oh, goodness.
Mr. Boogeyman, what rank are you? You said you were Gold League, right?
He's terrorizing us.
Yeah. Alright. Should I just start a game? Wait. You're set as Terran. Yeah. Oh, man. Mr. Boogeyman, please!
Just let me down.
Alright, Mr. Boogeyman.
Oh. He's Protoss now.
Alright, I'll just start up the game.
I like it. Levels you as referee.
No, I put myself as referee. It means I can pause the game.
Oh, okay.
I can be that douchebag that like infinitely pauses.
Every once in a while, I just get the game and like 30 seconds in, the guy needs to take a break. I was like, what were you doing that you don't have 30 seconds to play a game? What did you think was going to happen?
Yep. Stefano is known for that, man. Stefano always, like, the game starts, he immediately pauses and alt tabs out to change the music. Alright, so I'll watch the entire game through your vision as well, okay? Let's make workers. There we go.
And just like as a standard, I build the Overlord first, just to get try not to get supply locked as long.
All right. Yeah, usually 13 or 14 Overlord is technically speaking better, but all right.
Okay. That's an easy fix.
Yeah, that's a really easy one. Okay. You know what? Just because we can, let's just go double hatch before pull this game. Just because it's good practice. I don't know what Mr. Boogeyman's up to, but
how many?
So yeah, roughly 18 or so. So usually you send it at like 100 minerals at 18 supply. So right about right now. I don't know what Mr. Boogeyman's up to. He's getting upset. I don't know actually what rank he is though, but I guess we'll figure it out.
Watch him be like a freaking master player and just crushes me with.
Could be. Alright, so this is something you're not used to, right? So we can just follow this up with a gas at like 19 and then make the spawning pool. So that's pretty late. And honestly on this map it's pretty much the standard play, just because no one's really going for cannon rushes anymore. Couple reasons why, but we can go over that later.
Okay. And yeah, if you have any like thoughts on like building placement or anything like that, I don't have any like rhyme or reason to where I place buildings. I just kind of put them where I think they might help.
All right. Yep. I'll make a couple notes as well. And we'll go over those things in after the game. It's just let's just try and focus on beating the nerds.
It's always a good thing to do.
All right. So let's focus on 3 queens as soon as possible, and obviously Zergling speed as well. So if you're not sure whether or not there's going to be a depth aggression coming, general rule of thumb is to have roughly 8 Zerglings ready to go. Okay. So 8 Zerglings is all you need to surround to adepts, and you know it's pretty good to have. Yeah. Okay, very good.
Typically, if I see the probe, I'm always going to follow it just because I've been cannon rush one too many times.
Okay, cool. All right, so now that we've gone triple hatch, right, we do need to scout out what's going on and where he is located, but we need to focus on making a lot of workers and make this worthwhile.
Okay.
Okay, so with the Zerglings you got, once link speed finishes, you have like, you should be taking total map control. Okay, I'm gonna make as many drones as possible here. Let's try and keep those larvae at 0, okay?
Okay.
Cool. Okay. Now link speed is about to finish up, so you always need to try and figure out what's up. Alright, I like those links actually across the map. Let's have a look. Oh. Okay, so saw a bit of a chrono boost there. I don't know if you saw it as well.
No, I actually I was droning, so I didn't even look that way.
Alright, no big deal. Just for safety's sake, just make the spores and we'll go from there.
Okay.
Very good. And when you make the spores, it's also a pretty good moment to add on the roach warren too.
Okay.
Alright. So keep on droning. Cool. Alright, so let's have a look. So one of the things you always want to have a look at is his third base. If you can get vision of that third base, that's a huge indication of what he could be going for. Now, if by 5 minutes we still don't see him going for a third, it's safe to say he's gonna go for some sort of 2-base all-in, and you can just start making non-stop army. Okay? So if you know he made a natural, and you know he's also got a third, or he's got no third at 5 minutes, right now is a perfect time to just start making non-stop army anyway. So, you can start up roaches, you can start up, Zerglings, extra gases, those kind of things. But that's just like a general rule.
So should I be like getting the extra extractors now?
Yeah, totally.
Oh.
That's a pretty big timing to note though. Like if 5 minutes is the latest they will usually expand. Now, the fact that he doesn't expand, then we know he's gonna play a macro game, makes me think he's not actually gold. But you know, just keep on going. Just keep on going. Yep. If you want to, you can layer up and you can start up a Evo chamber as well.
Okay.
But notice, like
Just one?
yeah, I think you should probably get one right now because we don't really know what he's doing. But if you just notice, like we have a lot of extra workers here, right? So you can see the minerals are already starting to pile up, right? So let's focus on hitting literally all of the queen injects, and as soon as we see him take an expansion, we can go ahead and make a fourth base. I'd be pretty hesitant before that. Okay. Now, if you notice, like you have a lot of minerals though, you can totally go ahead and just make a macro hatchery too.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, just add on 1 or 2. You can add on a couple. That's fine.
No such thing as too much larva.
Nope. Okay. Now, he did just snipe off that Zergling, and we really need to have vision of that. So let's like run something forward, be it the Overlord, be it something, but we need to figure out if there's a natural. So you always like want to have a couple of links at least. Well, yeah, that dude can leave. There we go. Very good. Now, if you see him take that expansion, you can definitely go ahead and make a fourth base.
Okay, so you just took it, so...
Alright.
Take a fourth?
Yeah. Now, he might be still moving across the map, but it's still a good timing to just take the fort and maybe pressure him a little. Yeah, we just lost that scout as well, so always try and have some sort of vision close to his base. We'll go over that a little bit as well. Okay, very good. So let's make a whole bunch of overlords. Oh, you already did. Good. And let's saturate those gases. Now, whenever you take the fourth base, you can start tacking up. In this case, you probably want to tack up to something like a Hydralisk then, or, you know, even something like a Infestor play. But usually if they take a third base, you want to start thinking about something else than just Roach and Lynx.
Okay.
And then once we got the gases going of the fourth, you can definitely go ahead and start tacking up towards the Hive. Okay, so let's focus on all of those injects. Okay, very good. Okay, so when you throw down those gas geysers, just throw down the infestation pit as well and just go straight up to a Hive.
Okay.
Okay. We have 3. There we go. Beautiful. Alright. Now, since you just finished up a bunch of upgrades, it's always a good time to get moving across the map. You can probably kill those. Alright. Good. So let's start up the Hive and let's get moving. So always want to do at least a little bit of pressuring, okay? So let's start up the Hive, and are we gonna go Ultralisk or Brute You may choose.
Let's get some ultras.
Alright. So let's just grab the entire army and let's get moving across the map. Now we notice like the minerals are super high, right? So the only thing we need of the fourth base is the gas. I think we already got this saturated, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Okay. So right now we're just trying to sort of like get a favorable trade for ourselves. Potentially get a good army fight going. But we don't really need to like do a substantial amounts of damage here either, right? Because we know we got Hive incoming and we got a strong army coming in. Very good. I do want to continue the upgrades as well, by the way. Yep. Okay. Oh, well, we do need the entire army. There we go. Cool. Now, don't want to overextend here. If you push them back, just get back. Yep, just get back. We cleared out plenty of supply to make Ultras. And we may even want to consider getting a fifth base up. But right here is where we need a lot of gas. So you want to make sure you start up the Ultra Cavern, the Adrenal Glands upgrade. Oh, I do want to move the army home, by the way. Okay. Yeah, so let's start up the Ultra Cavern. And the Adrenal Glands upgrade as well for Zerglings. That one's super good. Alright. So notice we have a lot of extra minerals and a lot of larvae. You can totally add on Zerglings here. Because if you look at that army composition that he has, he got only Stalkers and Immortals, right?
Right.
And Ultraling will absolutely shred that. So, cool. Very nice. Now this feels weird, right? Just letting the Protoss do whatever the fuck he wants.
Yeah, it does.
I know the feeling.
I feel like I'm behind just because of the fact that I don't know.
Yeah, but notice
he's gonna come in with a huge like Void Ray army that's gonna just.
All right. Well, I think we can attack. We got a lot of links. And just notice, like, if you lose supply here, that's cool. Try and get the Mothership Core if you can. Yeah, this attack move. Oh, beautiful. Alright, and just, produce more ult for this. More Ultras and more links. Those are good units. So now we run out of larva. Let's just add on more links. Or run out of gas. We can add on more links as well. There we go. Alright. Alright. So we got a bunch of Ultras out right now. Do want to get the Ultra upgrade, by the way. The Ultra upgrade is super good. Okay, let's play it. Alright. So now let's go kill him. Pretty much.
Okay.
So once you have this army out and you finish up the upgrades for those units, you can totally start moving. Protoss can't tech switch like Zerg can, right? He just beat an army. Like, you just killed most of the army that was designed to kill Roach Ravager. And now all of a sudden you come out with an army that's completely hard countering his. So just a tech move here and just macro behind. You can add on more Ultras, you can add on more Zerglings. Now just watch the fight, right? Just like, normally you don't want to watch the fight, but just look how stupidly strong Ultras are. Say like you didn't even lose a single one there. That was like 20 Stalkers or something shitty like that, right? Like, we even have some defensive Ultras. Now he is warping in some Dark Templar, I believe. At least I've heard.
I have.
Oh, okay. There we go. All right. So beautiful. Great job.
That poor probe didn't stand a chance.
You got cleaved to death, man. Bunch of Ultras in there. Okay. I love the fact, by the way, that you don't automatically use the all army hotkey. That's really good. There's too many people using all army.
Oh, I didn't even have my hands on the keys. HH, it's the new meta. Okay.
Alright. So, considering that was the first time, that was, yeah, fairly well done. Very good.
Thank you.
Alright, so I made a whole bunch of points that I wanted to go over. But in general, like, how did that game, like, feel? If that, like, I mean, it's a good question.
I definitely didn't feel like I was winning it until, like, I saw all those Ultras after, like, I kind of pushed back the majority of his army. And then it just kind of felt different. Like, what would have happened if he went straight air? Like,
yeah, that's one of the things I wanted to go over, and one of the ways you can like scout that out. Usually, if you push out when upgrades finish, so usually you push out when you have, for example, +1 attack and roach speed finish up. You usually want to move across the map and figure out what he's going for, and if at that point he's going Void Rays, the first Void Rays will already show themselves. So usually you have some vision of that at that point. So playing aggressive, a little more aggressive, will usually help out a whole lot more. Just to sort of figure out what army composition he's going for. And also, it's pretty much always a good option to just have a blind spire out anyway, and have the option to go for something like Void Rays as a follow-up either way. Like, even if you don't plan on making it, you still should probably have a blind spire.
Okay. And just, for example, like the replay I showed you, what would have been a good counter to that build? Like, once I saw he had a few Void Rays and he had some Stalkers and some Immortals, like what should I have built to try and counter that? Because up until I lost that second army, I feel like I was pretty well positioned in that game as well.
All right, yeah. So what I think you probably should have done is, as soon as you saw him take the third base, is add on your own fort and tech up to a Hive. And what you want to be looking for as far as like a late game composition is going to be like a mix of Corruptors and then Brute Lords, and maybe add on some Zerglings and Queens or something like that. I don't know how familiar you are with playing Heavy Queen.
Well, I mean, I know you know the guy, the player Fenner. Like, I saw you were hosting him one day, and I actually like watched him because I was in the mood to like watch somebody that was way better than me. And he like did this interesting tactic where he like Nidus wormed into a Terran base at like 4 minutes with like nothing but like Queens and some Zerglings, and it was just like ridiculously mean. But like that's the extent that I use like Queens for aggression. It was hilarious. It was pretty entertaining.
Now, sorry, go ahead.
No, it was a fun strategy to watch, and that's why I like watching people that are really good at this game, because you learn like new tactics that you wouldn't have even thought of. Like until recently, I had no idea that I could kill Widow Mine with Ravagers just like blindly and like hitting where I know it is.
The Fenner worm, yeah. That is totally Fenner. Yeah. Now, like what I meant with like Queens in a late game is actually have them in the fight and actually have them in the army. It sounds a little bit weird, but if you watch all the high level StarCraft, pretty much all the pro level Zerg players add on Queens in the late game versus Protoss and Terran if they go for a army that's like Brute Lord Ultra, just because of Transfuse. Like, usually you notice how much gas that army costs, because you saw like we had so many minerals.
Yeah.
If you like have that many minerals and you go for ultras anyway, you may as well add on Queens, just because Transfuse keeps those guys alive forever.
Yeah, that's very true. I think then it would just be a matter of me getting better at like my creep spread, so that way they can actually keep up with the army. Yeah,
like that's just like it it's one of those progressive things. You can never control Queens perfectly, right? Like Transfuse wise and creep spread wise, there's so many things to work on when it comes to that. But yeah, like if you see that he's going heavy air, you can add on something like Queen Corruptor. Queen Corruptor is probably my favorite comp against heavy airplay. But then also things like Vipers are great too. But that's a whole different story. In general, to like try and figure out whether or not he's actually going Void Ray, you just simply push out earlier into the game, and if at that point you see something like Immortals and a bunch of Stalkers and stuff, the chances of him having like hidden Void Ray production is really slim.
Yeah. Okay.
Just because like if they're on 2 or 3 bases, it's really difficult to go both Immortals and Void Rays, right? Like it's difficult to go for both.
Yeah, that's true. It's really expensive.
Yep. All right, so I wrote down a bunch of things. A couple of the things are really not that crucial, and a couple other things I think are more important. So first off, I want to ask, like, what camera or what hotkeys do you use, and do you use the camera hotkeys? Because I didn't actually need to ask that yet.
No, I don't. I don't use camera hotkeys. Usually, what I'll do is I'll hotkey all my hatcheries to 4, all my queens to 5, and then army 1 and 2. Then the first overlord, I think I put him at like 6, just to if I need to move him real quickly without really paying attention to where he's going.
And do you use the standard hotkey setup or grid or like any of the fancy ones, or?
I think I just have like standard hotkeys set up.
All right. Do you use like 5 SD to build workers?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. That's standard. Cool.
Or 4 SD for me.
Right. Yeah.
And then, like I used. Oh, I changed my hotkey from backspace to shift from base switching, so that way I'll click 5 to have all my queens, and then shift V click, shift V click.
Shift V click. So you got shift for the base camera hotkey?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Yeah, one of the things you might want to add on if you feel like adventurous at some day is camera hotkeys. I find camera hotkeys really useful, but it's a bitch to get used to. It's just like one of those things you need to really focus on to get used to. So what I mean with that, I personally have F1 to create the main hotkey, or like the main hatchery hotkey, F2 to select the natural hotkey, and then F3 for like the the third base. I don't know if you've ever experimented with that at all.
I have not.
Yeah, like you might want to get used to it. So basically you have to manually set it up, but the camera hotkeys can help you out a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, we're not gonna go like too in depth in that right now, but I'll just write it down as like things to try out. Just because it can definitely help out a lot with the queen control, and then also defending things like drops and just general base management. Like I don't know if you were aware that that's even a thing. Like a lot of people don't even know about him.
I know there's like some people use camera hotkeys, but when I'd heard about it, I was just like, that seems a little complex for me right now.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, so it's very useful if, let's say, like the Terran drops in your third base, for you to immediately slam the F3 button and just run your workers out of there.
Okay.
It's something that it's like an instant click. Instead of you having to double click to a base, it's an instant click. And that doesn't sound very significant, but for example, you can start creating the box to select the workers in, and then hit F3. And for example, it will jump immediately to F3, which is going to be your third base then, and you can send your workers away. I don't know if that makes any sense. But
yeah, no, it does. I see what you're saying.
Helps a lot. Like, it helps a lot if you get used to it. It's just gonna take like a whole bunch of games. If you feel like grinding out the mechanics, camera hotkeys are really important.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, no, sorry.
anything that helps.
Yeah. They're like 13 or 14 Overlord. 13, 14 Overlord, either is good. Seems like most people are favoring 14 Overlord right now. Don't really know exactly why. Sometimes people favor 13 instead. 12 Overlord, it like the difference is gonna be so minor. Like it's not really gonna make or break a game, but if you want to be more exact about it, 14 Overlord is a little better.
It's a small change. It's easy to do.
Yeah, that's like the easiest thing to do, but it doesn't impact anything. All right, so you asked about building placement. I would say for Zerg vs Terran, I'll actually write this down as well. So for Zerg vs Terran and Zerg vs Protoss, building placement is not all too important. There's some minor little things you can do for Zerg vs Zerg in particular, where for example you can block off a passageway into your mineral line, so you can block early game like main link play.
Okay.
But I wouldn't really focus on it for too much. Like for Zerg vs Terran, Zerg vs Protoss, there isn't much as far as building placement goes that you really need to worry about. But we'll go over that when we actually play ZvZ.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, so double hatch before like making a spawning pool, right? It's really fucking good if you manage to actually drone up greedily like you did. Now, you could notice in this game as well that you weren't really too used to it because we started flooding a whole lot of minerals right from the get-go. That's just a matter of practice, right? But it's really fun to see like you try a completely different style. I don't know if you felt really lost with it or if you felt like very vulnerable early game.
Yeah, absolutely. I felt like he could have come in with like this like strong zealot push and like just like ended me.
Yeah, if you want to go for more like a safe all-round option, you can go hatchery first, and then a gas geyser, and then a spawning pool, and then take the third a little faster. But I just wanted to show you like you need that third hatchery a little bit earlier on into the game to sort of like keep supporting the economy that we had.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so third base, much faster. By the way, Mr. Baron, thank you very much for that subscription, dude. Appreciate that. Thank you, dude. Alright, yeah, so macro-wise, one of the things I would also recommend doing, and this is all like very not like Zerg vs Protoss related, but try and keep those larvae at 0. So early on we were like focusing as particular on like macro. Just having no larva available at any point in the game is really, really important. So if you can try and focus on that, it helps out a lot.
Okay.
So these are our mechanical things. And I'm getting some list with notes here. All right, so mechanics. All right. So one of the main giveaways that I tried pointing out in this game as well is the 5-minute mark. So if you go at least watch high-level StarCraft, usually 5 minutes is the latest that a Protoss player will take their third base. I tried pointing it out in a game. I don't know if I made very much sense with it.
You did. I was trying to focus on not missing my injects and trying to drone up. So I didn't catch the full brunt of it, but
yeah,
I remember you saying like the 5-minute marks when.
Yeah. So just to repeat it, right? So usually between 4 and 5 minutes or so is when Protoss players take their third bases. So if they plan on playing really macro focused, the latest they will take a third base will be 5 minutes. Okay.
Okay.
And what that means is that if you don't see a third base at 5 minutes, they're probably gonna do something cheesy off of 2 bases, or it could be Immortal play, it could be Mass Gateway play, it could be Stargate play, could be a heck of a lot of things. But the general giveaway is like, hey, there's no third base at 5 minutes. I need to start preparing for something that's likely gonna hit my base, and that means that usually 5 minutes into the game, you want to make sure you start non-stop army production if there's a lack of a third.
Okay, and at that point, should I sacrifice an Overlord to try and get an idea of what I need to be building?
Yeah, absolutely. Like if you can, the Overlord scouts help out a lot. Just simply running up a Zergling up this ramp, you would be able to see the robotics facility there.
Okay.
Those little things all help out a lot. Like you actually almost had vision of the robotics that it is. But for example, like if you fly in an Overlord, you see like 18 gateways go down in the main, right? Like that's a dead giveaway. There's gonna be some sort of all-in.
Yeah.
But just try and keep that in mind. 5 minutes. Usually the latest they will expand. If you see no expo, make non-stop army. And usually,
so if I see like this, and he's got like, let's say I can see 2 robotics facilities, so I know he's gonna build a lot of Immortals. Should I just build like Ling Roach Ravager, or?
Yeah, like Ring Ravager works really well, or like Hydra Ling works really well against that. Okay. Ravagers in particular are solid against anything early. Like if you need like a general army versus Protoss, it's like 8 Ravagers and how many Zerglings you can get away with. Okay. So yeah, like 8 Ravagers will deal with practically everything off of early game. Like if you need a lot more army, obviously you can add on more. Now this particular case, like you will notice like he added on a bunch of extra gateways before making the expansion, which usually doesn't happen all too much, but yeah, like I would say if you see no expansion, 5 minutes, just start making army and try figure out what's coming, okay?
Okay.
And that also means that obviously you need to have like constant vision of this third. Like if you have no vision of the third, you can't do very much about it, right?
Right.
Alright, so if you see no expansion at 5 minutes, make non-stop army. If you do see the third base, make a fourth base. Right? And that's basically what we're looking for. Yeah, so that's basically have vision of the third base and have vision of him moving out. Alright, yeah, so so those are like general tips. Yeah, so at 4 minutes, the blind spores. And because we want to have a Roach Warren done by 5 minutes, add on the Roach Warren as well. So usually, roughly 4 minutes into the game, I would start getting the, I would get exactly at 4 minutes into the game, I would get the Spore Crawlers, but also make sure you start the Roach Warren a little after.
Okay.
And by the way, I'm writing all these things down, right? So it's not like you have to remember all things.
Oh, man, I had like a little like notepad and paper. I was trying to like jot. Okay.
Yeah, and obviously if you like run into something later or whatever you want me to clarify, just let me know. But I'm writing it down as well that I'll send to you.
Okay. Perfect.
Alright, so if you notice like you're flooding a lot of minerals, feel free to add on the expansion to the fourth base faster, right? Like if you notice at this point, I think it's like 6 minutes or something, we start flooding a bunch of minerals. It's actually nothing too bad though. But if you notice like at this point, right, like you start having a pretty unmanageable amount of minerals, it's totally cool to add on like the fourth base, immediately, or over there immediately. And it may not be something you're gonna start mining from anytime soon, but it's basically a macro hatchery at that point that's just not inside of your base.
Gotcha.
And that's just like ideally we don't need it, Like if we macro perfectly, there's no reason for it. In this particular case, we got the gases a little late, so that's sort of what happened. You know, just as like a general rule of thumb, if you see yourself getting a lot of minerals, make expansions or in-base hatcheries.
Okay.
And for example, one thing you can say to yourself is like, okay, if I have 1,000 minerals and I have no larva available, I will make a macro hatchery, or like, you know, I will make an expansion.
Sounds good.
And also, like as like a good thing to do against Protoss is try and expand away from them. So, like I know you got the fort base over there. You probably were safer to get it over there instead, just to like
yeah, makes sense.
Get away from them. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. Like the most important thing is to have the fort base down, because if you don't have the fort base and the gases of the fort, there's no way you can support Hive play. But if you know that as soon as you get the fort base up and you get the gases going and you can tech up to a Hive, you should be having enough to start supporting a big army right there. Like, did that make sense that you needed the 8 gas to really support that Hive?
Yeah, because even with the 8 gas, like after building so many ultras, you know, you ran out and then had like back up the army with some Zerglings. So yeah, I can only imagine with 6, like I probably would have only had like maybe half of that in the Ultralisks.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it all comes down to the timing of the fort base. Is really what I want to like emphasize. Like if you get the fort base out at a good timing, it is much easier to take the to get the Hive going immediately as well. So if you see them take a 3rd, take a 4th, get the gases going, and immediately tech up to a Hive. So it all starts basically at him taking a 3rd and you taking a 4th.
And then if he doesn't take the 3rd by like the 5-minute mark, start building an army to.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Exactly. And like when you finish up upgrades, let me just go into the point where you finish them up in this particular game. Usually you finish them up, I don't know exactly, I think it's like 8 minutes or something. So that would be roach speed and +1 armor. It's always worth to go ahead and cross the map just to see what's going on. Like, you don't need to win the fight or like force the engagement here. But right now, if you start moving across the map, if he's going Void Ray heavy, they're gonna be out at this point. Like, you're gonna see them here no matter what.
Right.
So if there's a lack of them, it's totally safe to just continue onwards with the path. Oh yeah, one other thing as well is that while you're getting a Hive up, you usually want to start adding on something like a Spire as well around the same time.
Okay. Here's a question that's I don't know if it's a dumb question.
No. Go ahead.
How do I aim the Ravager like Corrosive Bow for air units? Because I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but I've seen other people like never miss with it, and even against Liberators, I'm like I click and then it like hits away from the Liberator. Like I don't know if I'm.
All right. Yeah. No. That's not a stupid question at all. It's actually like a setting that can help you out a lot. I don't know if you have it enabled, but if you hit F10 and you go into options and you go to gameplay, there is this thing that says show flyer helper. I don't know what you got it set to right now.
It's
the one in the bottom left corner.
Yeah. Okay. It says selected in pre-target units only.
Yeah, I would recommend putting it on always.
Okay.
And then if you look, for example, right now at the mothership core, right? You see the mothership core right there?
Yeah.
You see that little line underneath the mothership core with the dot on the ground?
Yeah.
If you aim the corrosive bile exactly on that dot, it will land exactly where the mothership core is located.
Okay.
And every flying unit has that, so it's a huge help. Like by default, that setting I believe is set to off or whatever. Like I think it's set to none, and it's literally impossible to target fire down anything.
Okay, because yeah, that happened with me with some Liberators and some mothership cores where I thought like, I was targeting it correctly, and then it would miss, and then I'd have to wait till it's off cooldown to try it again. So sometimes it's just like shooting in the dark.
Yeah, no. That's actually a really good question. I still don't understand how some of these settings are not on by default. Like, yeah, like a lot of people in the chat are as well. Like, oh wow, I didn't think I have that. Yeah, it's really important to have that on. So F10 once again for anyone watching. gameplay options, flyer helper. Set it to always. It's really important. And what the little circle is that we're talking about is this little like, whatever it is. It's right underneath the mothership core.
Here.
Yeah, this thing. This
I don't know
little
if they
circle.
see my mouse cursor or not.
No, they can't.
Okay, I'm just pointing at random shit then.
But this little thingy you see on the ground here for the mothership core is a huge giveaway of where you need to land the corrosive bio. And that helps versus like Liberator play, Warp Prism play, mothership core, all that shit.
Yeah. Speaking of Liberators, the range on Liberators is insane.
Yeah, if you get the upgrade, it's stupid.
I had like a Terran guy like way the hell off the map. Like I had my spore colony like as close as I possibly could to try and like snipe him down, and he was still able to like hit my mineral line, and my spore crawler was just like sitting there helpless.
Yeah, they changed that up in one of the last patches in the beta. I don't know when that was. If it was recent though, he probably got the upgrade. Like basically, you have an upgrade in the fusion core. So the same tech that you can get battle cruisers at to upgrade the range of the Liberators. Like at that point, you should totally have like some sort of spire out.
Yeah, I should have, but I didn't.
Yeah. Like over here, by the way, if you look over here, like you can see all the little lines underneath the overlords there, and like underneath the observer as well.
Yes.
Those are all really big indications.
Perfect.
So just for like a number, it takes 3 shots to kill a Liberator, 3 shots to kill a Warp Prism, and 1 shot to kill an observer, I believe. Or 2? I don't know. I usually just spam it, but...
How many is the mothership core?
3.
Okay.
Yeah, so mothership core 3, Liberator 3, Warp Prism 3 as well.
Okay.
I think it's 3. I just... Warp Prism and Liberator for sure are 3. Yeah, like versus a mothership core, it's like just try and nuke it down.
I'll literally blow all their corrosive bile just to try and kill that stupid thing.
So struggle shoot it again, man. You gotta take it out.
Tired of pylons kicking my ass.
It's so strong. It's so strong. Anyway, yeah, so a couple minor things. So once again, we can get the third base much faster than we have been, right? 4-minute blind spore crawlers and the roach warren. 5 minutes is usually the latest that they will take a third base. If you don't see the third base, just start making non-stop units and figure out what's going on. Or, you know, if you don't know, just keep on making units. If you do see them take a third base, get your own fourth base going. And when you get the gases at the fort, you can start taking up to a hive.
Perfect.
Yeah, so those are the basic things. Now, applying it in game can be a little more frustrating, but we'll just keep on practicing.
Oh.
Lowko, 3 balls to kill a mothership core. I think it's 9. Not quite, but 9 is about safe as you can go.
You can never shoot the mothership core enough. Mothership overkill.
No, War Prism is definitely 3, as far as I'm aware. The most important one to know is Liberator, anyway. Like, you don't want to have any more than 3 Ravagers early game against Liberator. I don't know. Let's just go big map again. Oh, excuse me. Laralek Crest. There we go.
Now, how much is this strategy influenced by like the smaller maps, for example, like when harassment's a lot more frequently occurring just because of the proximity to the two opponents?
Yeah. So it's pretty similar. The same rules still apply. Like if you see them take a third base, usually taking a fourth base is a great option. If you have time. That said, like if you see them not taking a third base, it's pretty scary to take your own fourth as well. So once again, like if you see them not taking expansion, like at very latest 5 minutes, 5:30 maybe, just start making non-stop army and go from there. It doesn't affect it all too much. Like you have maps like Arena that just are pretty dumb in general.
Yeah, I think I might actually like veto that map from now on because I don't know what it was.
Terrible.
If it was like some sort of like glitch, I played that map 11 times in a row. Like
Whoa.
It was insane. I was like, what is with this fucking map?
That was probably the day you had that losing streak, man. Like
It might have been.
Yeah, no, I don't really like the map all too much. It's alright. Let's play standard, and then maybe one more cheesy game afterwards.
Sounds
Cool. I don't know if you have any issues defending early game aggression from Protoss.
I mean, it's always good to practice it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's 4? Alright, guys. I don't know. It's never really been that applicable. I always have a queen on top of the War Prism anyway, so I don't know. I guess if it's 100%. Yeah, everyone's talking about the amount of shots.
The chat is always trolling.
Oh wow, we even have a theory, man. Why you play Arena so much? Likely because everyone has the map vetoed, so when two players don't have it vetoed, the matchmaker sets it up on that map. Could be.
That's actually a solid theory.
Yeah. Although I don't have it vetoed at the moment, and I don't play it up much. I don't know how it works.
Maybe not as many like high-level players veto it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's fun, like, it's a fun little difference every now and then. The games take like 3 minutes anyway, so it's not like you're losing that much time.
Yeah, that's true.
Alright, so let's go hatch gas pool, okay? So, a bit more standard.
Okay.
Alright, it's 4 shot on a War Prism. There we go. We've stabilized on it. We've come to a conclusion.
Oh my goodness. I was gonna lose hours of sleep for that.
Just use the War Prism tester, man. Like, make it custom. No, this is a game in progress, Kuro. Full Sleep just has a way of commentating and playing at the same time. Alright, so for the early game, let's focus on keeping those minerals, or like the larvae, at 0, okay? We want to try and like minimize the amount of larvae available at all times.
Okay. Yeah, I try and get better at actually talking while I play, just because occasionally I'll stream too, just to try and get advice from random people. I think sometimes GMs, to make themselves feel better, will just watch like lower level people play and be like, okay, I still can beat this guy.
Yeah. I get a lot of bronze leakers helping me out with strategies though. It's tricky sometimes.
So now, should I drop the
Yeah, so like you start up the 2 queens, roughly about right now. Yeah, you should probably start the 2nd queen first, but yeah, that's the idea at least. Like queen, Zerking speed, and then go from there.
Oh man. Oops.
Yeah, so it's a little faster here, but it's fine. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, the early game ZVZ is not, or ZVP is not that strict. Let's just scout around with these links and kill that probe, by the way. But let's keep on making drones right now. That's the most important thing. I wouldn't stress over the exact build orders all too much. All right, looks like he's gonna lead you home. I think that's a nice probe. All right, there's actually a queen on that hotkey for hotkey 4.
What?
Okay.
Yeah, every once in a while I'll misclick and...
Yeah, I know the feeling. I saw you making workers, but it didn't happen. Alright, so he found where he spawned. Looks like he made a bunch of extra stuff there at the front. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but I think for the moment, as long as we have vision of his third base, we want to have vision of that. We should be in a good spot. Just keep in mind, like, he's probably going to make it in base there.
Yeah.
Alright. Okay, and you can always start the extra queen right now as well.
Oh, yeah.
So if you start a queen and then like extract the trick, or there we go, we're good. All right, beautiful. Yeah, so make sure to run one of the links over to yeah, Watchtower is great, but then also where you would take the third. Yeah, beautiful, great. Alright, so he likely is going to take the third up north.
Right.
So if you move one of the links from the Watchtower over there, I think it's fine. Cool. Alright, want to make sure you get the spore crawlers going. Oh, did you already knock down the walls? Or the rocks?
Yeah, you might have.
Alright. And then also make sure you start up the roach warren. Okay, so I want to make a couple more overlords, a couple more workers. Yeah, right there. Oh, they actually changed the map up, obviously. Fuck. I haven't played this map since they changed it.
Yeah, now I guess...
yeah, now you need to, like,
different.
position the overlord there. Yep. That's a good point. Sorry, that's my bad. Yeah. The map got changed. I haven't played it yet since the change.
It's okay. I haven't either, because I did not know that.
Okay, the change was 2 days ago, guys. I'm sorry, I wasn't 100% up to date with the most recent things.
How dare you come unprepared?
I know. Yeah. It's not like I haven't been playing either. Alright. So let's just get the lair going. And, yeah, like, if you're not sure, exactly, like, making units is fine. Let's get the Evo chamber, and then you can start extra gases, too. So, I would get roughly about 8 roaches. Oh, there's actually something flying there. Alright.
Phoenixes.
So, one sec, please. Alright. So, we see phoenixes, right? What is going through your head right now? Like, what's the plan? What are we going for?
I'm sure as hell not going to build Mutalisks.
that's that one. Alright.
No, typically, at that point, I'll build, like, a Overlord speed, just to try and prevent him from easily sniping all my Overlords that are scattered across the map. Because I've had Protoss players before go to each one of the expansions and just take out all my vision, which is frustrating, of course. But besides that, I just make sure my queen isn't, like, out of position so she doesn't get, like, graviton beamed and sniped.
Alright.
But since I'm already have, like, the spore crawlers down, like, I pretty much just position her to where she's protected by the spore crawler and vice versa.
Alright. That makes sense. So, like, as far as, like, strategy goes, okay, what do you think he is going for from here? Like, he's been building phoenixes. What's he more likely to do? Like, what do you guess he's going for here?
Eventually, Void Rays and the Phoenixes are more for, like, harassment.
Alright, so eventually Void Rays, right? The fact that he's making phoenixes basically means as well that he's not gonna go for any kind of all-in right now, right?
Right.
So, if you see phoenixes, usually speaking, and that's like, I pretty much always follow the rule anyway, it's like the biggest giveaway that is telling you to make as many drones as you please. Because, like, when you think about it, he's got phoenixes, right? He's investing early game economy to try and harass overlords. Fuck that. Like, just make a fucking ton of workers, and usually you're in a great spot.
Okay.
So you can basically go ahead and just make a fort base immediately, get all the gas you want, and start teching up. Now, if you know that he already has a Stargate down, I would always throw up, something
Spire?
like a Hydra Den and a Spire. Yeah.
Okay. Both?
Yeah, totally. Like, if you have the gas to do so, I would do so. Probably want to go Hydra Den first, tech up to a Hive, and then get the Spire going. Okay. But yeah, it's always good to have like a backup plan just in case you need up Corruptors. But usually, like, if you see phoenixes, it's a dead giveaway that you can just simply go ahead and make as many workers as you please.
Perfect.
And the thought process, like, if he wants to go for, Void Race, that's gonna take at least like another 3 minutes. If he wants to go for Immortals, great. That's also gonna take like another, like, however long.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, it's sometimes it's good to take a bit of a pause also in replays, or, just ask me on Skype or whatever whenever you're like, well, fuck, I see Void Ray at 6 minutes, like, now what?
Yeah,
right?
I sometimes forget you can pause this. So, like, I get into the game and I was like, oh, fuck, I wanted to ask something, and then I kind of just move past it to try and make sure I'm not missing injects or doing whatever.
Yeah, exactly. But when you think about it right now, right, it's like, oh, fuck, yeah, he's not gonna do anything. Like, I mean,
yeah.
I can tell you his entire army at this point. He's got he's got 3 sentries, 1 zealot, and 3 phoenix, right? Like, that's not a scary that's not a scary army, no matter what. So, it's the same. Like, if you go for example, if they go for like a Void Ray opener right now, they're gonna have like 1 Void Ray, 2 sentries, and a zealot, right? Like, there's not much else besides those couple of units. So the response usually to Stargate is always gonna be the same. But anyways, let's just not keep Mr. Boogeyman waiting. He's probably listening to this, but
He knows everything.
He knows all the secrets. Doesn't matter though. We're just playing macro here anyway. So yeah, like this is that giveaway. Yeah, you'll notice it in 15 seconds. Well, it's a dead giveaway to just simply start droning up, get the gases going, get the fort base going, and go up to Hive. Very good. Well, let's start up the upgrades as well in the Evo chamber, by the way. Yep, cool. Yeah.
Oh,
Just send the other ones back home and just make a couple one back home. But just make sure you expand behind it. That's the most important thing. Like, we're floating minerals anyway, it's fine. Just make a bunch of extra overlords. There we go, no big deal. Alright, so let's saturate the gases and just keep droning up behind when we can. Okay, if we can't, that's fine. Alright, we actually got 7 in gas in the main.
oh.
Yeah, disappointing it out. It's not a big deal, but it hurts my Zerg heart.
That is rough.
Yeah, it's like, oh my god, Loki, you got 4 in gas. It's like, yes, it's like the least significant thing. But
Least of my worries right now.
yep. Yeah, so these roaches right here, I honestly don't think those are very necessary because they're not gonna do shit, right?
They really aren't.
Yeah, so you're probably better off just simply making drones and adding on the like habits. Habits are hard to break. That's fine. Okay, let's get the gases in the fort base saturated. Alright, so from here on we can build our dream army. Now, as far as dream army goes, I would probably like fly around with one of the overlords and see what he's going for. Just to see what kind of army he's got. Just send it through his base and see if he's going heavy void ray or if he's going for robotics follow-up, if he's adding on carriers, whatever
Yeah,
it
we
is.
just got some speed, so.
Yep. Alright, want to start up the Hive as well?
Oh shit.
All good. And you could even go
Should I
double
drop
Evo
that
chambers.
infestor pit? Like, where does that drop the Hydralisk den in the spire?
Yeah, in this case, it probably would have had that. Yep. Usually, you drop it when you see, or you take the gases in the fourth. All right. Did we see the army? Did we see the army? We did not. All right. Oh well, we see double robo. Okay, so double robo. All right. So once again. All right. So double robo. What do we go for here? Like, what's the army that he could be going for? We know he's got a starport. We know he's got double robo. What's his army gonna be like?
What, like Colossi and Void Rays?
Yeah, for example, right? That's gonna be a really solid comp. Now, what would be a good army composition that could easily beat that?
Corruptors?
Yeah, Corruptors are absolutely demolishing that. So, if you go for something like, I don't know, Corruptor Zergling, just in case there's some sort of like heavy Stalker play on the ground or like Immortal play, so still have like some sort of Stalkers to cover that, and then add on like, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 Brood Lords. You should be in like some of the best army compositions you have. Okay.
I feel like when you ask me a question that I actually have to answer, like that kid in class is like trying not to look like a fucking idiot.
Yeah, no, no, I don't mean it like that. I don't mean it like that. I'm just trying to help you like think about the process, right? Because there's so many different variables that Protoss can go for that it makes it really hard.
Yeah. For the exact reason that I don't have your Twitch up currently, so I can't see what the people.
Oh no, people are not like people don't not making fun of you or anything though.
Don't like me, Loko. Okay.
Yeah. These coaching sessions are so much more awkward than Pigs. Why is that, White Storm? I've been watching a lot of coaching actually from Pig. I always like asking a lot more questions though, because I feel like it helps out a lot more. You know, with the actual thought process. Just like dumping information works for some people, but I feel like, you know, it helps you probably out more to at least try and understand the thought process.
Yeah, I mean, it's a dialogue. You learn a lot more than just a lecture.
Yeah. All right, now people are saying shit. You triggered the shit. No, it's not bad.
Oh man.
Alright, yeah, so let's take up to a Hive. Let's get some Corruptors going. Let's get Greater Spire going. Let's add on Zerglings. And just in case, we can even add on an Ultra Cavern. We can even go 5 bases. We can do whatever the fuck we please here. But, yeah. Alright. Alright. We got plenty of overlords now. Now they're making fun of me, man. Damn it. Alright. Let's get the Hive going. And probably in the meantime you want to add something like Ravager Zergling or whatever, just to stay alive. Okay. Now you can, currently we are at 70 workers. You can probably get a couple more. I love the fact, by the way, that the Zergling is at the front. It helps out a lot.
Great tips and coaching sessions.
Thank you, Fargos, for the donation, man. Appreciate that.
So, building nowhere right now, just kind of continuing to...
Yeah, so right now, so this is usually where you start seeing people float resources, right?
Yeah, like, I feel like I should be doing something right now, like... This,
exactly.
It feels weird not to build.
You can add on a bunch of Corruptor. You can add on a bunch of Corruptor here, just because, you can add like 10 Corruptor here no matter what, maybe 20. Just because you can still harass bases with them nowadays, which helps out a lot, like you can snipe a base. But yeah. Okay, let's get immediately Greater Spire, immediately Ultra Cavern, and immediately also the Adrenal Glands.
It's a lot of immediates.
A lot of immediates, yep. Like, we're basically on a timer here, right? We're basically waiting for him to, like, you know, show his hand and show us what he's going for.
Mm-hmm. I got pretty close to max army right now.
Yeah, exactly. So we gotta careful not max out, right? So if you notice, like, you're close to maxing out, you can add on things like static defense and replace workers. You can add on more bases. You can go 5 bases here, easily. It feels a little awkward.
Sure does.
You can also just go ahead and snipe his natural. I don't know if you've ever done that before, but just use the Corruptors to piss on his base.
Say what now?
Corruptor's got a new ability, right, in Legacy? I don't know if you've ever used it.
Yeah, I haven't. Okay, so you're saying go to his
yeah,
natural?
just fly to the western side of the map, yeah. And just hold down the button for the ability and just click a whole bunch of times on his nexus.
Okay.
That's the nexus in his natural. And just don't micro them afterwards. Until the base is dead. Alright, in the meantime, make sure to get some more Corruptors going. And a couple Ultras or something. Okay. Now, you're gonna probably lose a bunch of army here, but just look at the Corruptors, okay? So they're gonna piss him to death. Don't micro him, don't micro him. After 6 seconds, the damage they do here triples. So, like, look at that damage. Alright, and now you fly home, Now, I think we may have just overextended the amount of shit we got. Want to maybe give away a bunch of the roaches so we can morph in Brute Lords. Like, we do need some Brute Lords here.
Yeah, so just
just attack a bunch of those.
See if I can...
Yeah. Oh, he's actually attacking you right now. Alright. You want to make sure you trade a bunch of this army and then morph in Brute Lords immediately. Just morph into Brutes. Brutes are gonna save the day out. Yeah, man, you took a piss on his base. I mean, it worked out beautifully. Alright, and you can add on Zerglings as well here. So that's taking a piss on the Protoss. Quite literally. Alright. Yeah, just push down with the, just fly down with the Brute Lords. Oh well, I guess we can send the Ultras as well. Ultras do get shredded though. Alright.
Did not have a good day.
And just attack move with everything you got. Let's go. Now you can keep switching tech here. You can add on more Brute Lords. You can add on more Zerglings. You can add on more Ultralisks. You can add whatever you want, really. Make sure to bring the Corruptors as well, Joe, just in case like a bunch of Void Rays swooping in. I would probably add on a bunch of bunch more Brute Lords here. But just keep on fighting. Like keep the Brute Lords flying forward. Yeah. All right. Just get the Zerglings if you can underneath the Brute Lords. That's gonna be a bit of a micro fight. So.
Where are all my Zerglings?
They just pushed in. The cheeky old army hotkey group.
I did not have all army. That was actually.
Oh, okay.
I had them on the one hotkey.
Ah, all right.
I would admit to it if I was. I was cheating.
All right. So now you've killed all the immortals. Now you can switch back into ultras. Like what are ultras gonna do, right? Absolutely demolish everything once again. So notice, like, late game Zerg is really fucking dynamic, right? And add in like things like Lurker, add in things like Viper play. You can like deal with everything. You can force them to switch 100 times over. Now it looks like he's added on a bunch of Void Rays. We got Corruptors still, right? Hopefully.
We got a few.
I don't know if that's enough. We may add on like something like Hydras here as well if you want to. Or there's more Corruptors, that works. Yeah, so that ability absolutely wrecks it.
Oh god.
Yep. Alright. If you still have if you still have anti-air, that helps out a lot. Yeah, notice like we probably don't want to morph in all of them. That's why I mentioned like probably like 8 max, but all good. Alright. So let's head back, just retreat for the moment, get more bases going once again, and just regroup. You can add on a bunch of Corruptors here as well. And, well, probably more Zerglings. Oh, actually, that base isn't hotkeyed. That's why we got so much larva there.
The one I was just at?
Yeah, this one, yep. There we go. Now we got a lot of larva.
Holy hell.
Yep. So Zerglings here is fine as well.
That's all I can afford.
Yep. Yeah, so that's usually why you're always a little careful making too many Brute Lords and, you know, getting rid of all of your Corruptors.
Yeah.
But those are just things you learn from playing, you know.
It was a rough day when all those Void Rays came in. Oh shit.
Oh well, just move the Hydras in. There you go.
Yeah.
I love playing Zerg this
Void Rays.
style though, like it's so much fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mass Carrier? Mass Carrier is just dealt with more Corruptors, you just need a target fire.
Oh god.
That's fine.
The dreaded pylons.
Okay. Oh man, we're even adding a Swarm House right now? Damn, I haven't seen that unit in a long time. Okay, the Brute Lords here?
Oh wow, I have a fucking army at the base just doing nothing.
Yep. That's fine.
Ultralisks taking a day off. Oh man, forgot to get upgrades too. A lot of stuff was left behind.
Yep. So I imagine adding in things like Infestor as well, right? What you were asking. Like obviously here, this army gets stronger from Infestor, right? But controlling his army is hard enough as it is, right? So
yeah.
If you feel like adding on Infestors, by all means, you know, it's a great unit. But it's just, you know, you gotta make use of it if you want to make use of it.
Yeah, it's gonna be that much more work.
Yep. So beautiful. Very well done. BM Swarm Host. Swarm Hosts are not that terrible of a unit, guys. You don't make Swarm Hosts just to BM your opponent. I mean, I think it was a misclick. That'd be brilliant, man. Making a unit.
Did I make a Swarm Coast? Oh,
yeah, you made 2 of them.
That's MVPs right there, just sat at the base, fucking watched.
It's like the new BM. Yeah, like things like creep spread obviously also help out a lot, right? But we're focusing here on like the basic thing, the most important things, and then obviously the priority list gets, you know.
Do you typically build like an extra queen so you can actually like help with just creep spread?
Yeah, early on you usually make the 3rd queen a little faster, and then you can usually get like 1 or 2 tumors going immediately.
Okay.
And you can also like dedicate 2 queens or so to creep spread. It really depends. Like if you see him go heavy air, going for more queens earlier on is totally fine. Like let's say you see him play, for example, War Prism heavy, or he is going for Void Rays, right? And at that point, usually that hits right before you add on all of those gases. So at that point, if you notice you have a lot of extra minerals, just add on a heck of a lot of queens. Like just queue up the queens immediately. Pull the queens that you have for defense, and just replace the queens that you're losing. It helps out a lot. Broodlord Queen units, yeah. Like on this map, that also depends on map. On this map, in these spawn locations, it's easier to move across the map with queens. Whereas on like Runes of Saras, it would take about 3 years for the queens to get across,
Oh my
right?
gosh. Yeah. Some
Uh,
of those bigger maps, I'll have like a reinforcing army, and by the time you get there, the main army's already dead.
yeah, exactly.
It's a scene out of Mulan.
I haven't seen that movie in too long.
It's been a while, but it just popped in my head for some reason.
So if you have trouble defending the bases to early game aggression, add on as much queens, or as many queens. Queens as you like. All right. I think we got some good information out in this general or in this coaching session.
Yeah, I feel like most of the time, if I lose an expansion, I end up losing the game just because he out economies me. Because I had like the extra one, and I was able to more push back his army more so than just defend and hold on for dear life. It worked out pretty well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I don't know if you have any questions yourself, or if there's anything else you were wondering about.
No, it's just a matter of kind of practicing on those things. And are there any, like, I don't know, other nuances when going against Protoss to look out for?
Yeah, I would say the main ones are 4 minutes Spore Crawlers and Roachwarren, and then 5 minute checking for their third base to figure out what's going on. And like I like expanding a lot more than trying to be aggressive to them, just because late game Zerg is so much stronger. So instead of like trying to get into the mindset of, okay, he's taking the third base, let's finish him off, try and get into the mindset like, okay, he's taking the third base, let's make it fourth, right? Which is guaranteed to go off at that point.
Gotcha.
But yeah, like other than that, it's just a lack of practice, or like a matter of practice, really, because the late game style and switching between those units and looking at his army and deciding what you want to go for, it's gonna take a bunch of losses as well, right? Where you're like, oh god, like all of a sudden Void Ray swoop in, like what the heck did I do wrong?
Yeah. I should have left some more Corruptors on the field.
Yeah, exactly. Like you could make any army you wanted. There wasn't really a reason to morph all the Broodlords in, but it was just, you know, we were on a roll, right? You were marching across the map. So may as well add on some more.
It felt good at the time.
Yeah, exactly. Like it happens all the time where you have silly losses like that, and once you get past that point, and you just, you know, look at the replay a little bit more and, like, you know, not too emotionally or emotional, you should be fine. Awesome. All right. Talk to you soon, man. Take care.
All right. Appreciate it.